Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Shane Lornez, the head football coach at Bath. How's it going?
It's going good. Just watching this summer fly by, watching the kids grow.
Absolutely. So I know we're kind of at this time of recording, we are in the final week of 7-on-7s. Um, but how has the summer gone?
The summer's good. I mean, we're testing kids to see where they fit. I mean, especially on the skill level presence. But, I'm not a huge fan, as I said, of 7-on-7s. You create weird habits. I'd rather see them in true pads, all of everything changes once you get to that first day of pads. So for me, it's a little bit of a test to see quarterback battles. You get to see a little bit of those receiver battles, but for the most part, it's just about learning personalities right now and taking it all in.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what you got player wise. We'll talk about all the guys that are returning, some of the guys to watch.
Yep.
We'll start offense, defense, special teams, and then just we'll go from there.
Yep. Offensively, I mean, we return all of our receivers. I mean, basically to an extent, except for Ethan Wicks.
Yeah,
So Aiden Briggs is going to be a huge piece of our offense this year. Aiden Wolf. Will probably they'll both be my outside receivers. Aiden Briggs has grown into his body. He's 6'2", 180 now. It's just a good size receiver, and he's starting to get a lot of recognition. Aiden Wolf's another 6 foot receiver, got great speed. He's got really good hands. Max DeLeon's going to be kind of a mixed tool for me. Another senior. He played in the slot for me last year. I like giving him the ball in jet sweeps, but who knows? He might even take over as running back at this point. Just because of body type, he's got the size, he's got the speed. So we're we're excited about those guys. Keegan Hunt on the offensive line. He's one of my anchors. I mean, he is the best communicator when it comes to downline calls and making sure everybody's in position. Last year we did lose Jaden Braska at the beginning of the year. He tore his ACL right at the beginning of the year. So he's only going to be a junior, but he is a massive D tackle for us and a massive tackle for us. So I'm excited to see what he brings because he is tough. That kid is just tough. Another one is Holmberg. I'll be surprised what we get out of Holmberg. I'm not sure where he's at yet. It might be a tight end. He might be an H-back. He might be a quarterback. I don't know. But he's 6'3", 205. He's going to play football somewhere.
yeah,
Uh, D- so that's primary returners on offense. I expect some surprises. I know that actually Jack Talbot is returning to our team. He's not tall by any means. For whatever reason, we keep getting DBs that are like 5'4", and you see a 6'5" receiver, and you're like, all right, that's why they catch the ball. But um, Jack Talbot's going to help us a lot in his return. I got Wyatt Kohler that came out for football this year. He was a great wrestler. He's about 6 foot 150. Another another great runner. I mean, we have a couple track athletes decided to play football this year, so I'm really excited to see what they do.
yeah. Okay, go ahead, Shane.
Defense, yeah, defensively, I mean, we're definitely picking up the pieces. We lost, and I'm just trying to spitball here. We lost Isaiah, but Aiden Briggs and Isaiah ended up tying for the lead in tackles on our team last year. So Aiden Briggs, we do return him. I'm having a hard time not moving him to Will at this point, because I want him to play outside linebacker. He's a little more natural there. Mason Eifert, he's going to be the kid that probably leads this defense. Much bigger, going into his senior, much more confident. He's put in the time in the weight room. He's going to be the Mike linebacker. He's going to take over this defense, and I expect him to be a pretty good player And he's another one that's grown in size for me. He's about 6 foot, 215 pounds. He can handle those blocks, and again with him and Keegan and some of the inside guys that I've mentioned, like Jaden Braska and Holmberg, like our defensive line is going to be formidable. Our secondary is going to be fast. Our linebackers are going to be able to tackle. So I'm pretty excited. I think our defense is our strength for sure.
Absolutely.
Special teams is going to be brand new. Um, so Tommy Vang was our kicker last year. He punted a little bit for us last year. Actually, we have a soccer player. This is the first time that's happened since I've been here that wants to kick and punt, and Ali Raphael. Um, Great soccer player. So he's got the leg to do all the stuff that I need. So he's brand new for me. I'll be excited to see what he does. Um, so maybe we even have a guy that can actually get us a touchback. That's what I'm kind of hoping for.
Right.
And then I'll bring up a couple kids' names here. So Zane Garfield, he's going to be in a very important piece for Bath for the next 3 years. He's a sophomore. He is pound for pound one of the strongest kids you'll ever meet because he's 124 pounds, I want to say, but he benches 180. So you got a kid there that can just do way above his weight. He works out all the time. He's going to be a fantastic player. He's got that ethic, that work ethic. So he'll be a great player. And I think this is where either a Carter Dorr or a Wyatt could fit in as a returner and kind of give us some different things. Carter Dorr is a sophomore, another 165-pound guy that's a running back, and he's got that 23-second 200 speed. So we got some guys that are kind of coming out of the woodworks, but I'll take it.
Okay. Let's talk about the before we get to the schedule, I do want to also mention this is your fourth year as head coach at Bath. So this is it's always a point that I know a lot of coaches do want to get to because now you have seen this class, the freshman class, now seniors, all 4 years. You have now seen the program through. So
Yeah.
how exciting is that for you to just kind of see a class from when they began to now? Because I know that's a
I
big
mean, I'm
change.
I'm really excited to work with this senior class just because they're great kids. Um, we got good numbers out of that class too. So I mean, you're talking a Jack Kennichnick that's, going for quarterback position. Again, Aiden Briggs, Aiden Wolf, Keegan Hunt, um, all great kids. Mason Eifert, a couple even new kids that have come in. I mean, we're gonna have 14, 15 seniors, and they're going to contribute. They're gonna be the heart and soul of the team. There's no doubt about it. But the fact that they all, I think maybe Keegan and Aiden Briggs are kind of the two that had played varsity football as freshmen, even a little bit of Max DeLeon, but they played varsity football as a freshman, so they have the opportunity to take that 4 years and maybe get in the playoffs 4 years in a row. And that'd be awesome for them and for the school.
Absolutely. All right, now let's talk about the upcoming schedule for you guys. I know starting off on the road at Otisville Lakeville Memorial on August 28th, September 5th, week two at Dansville, September 12th, home against PW, September 19th, week four at Vestaburg, week five at Fowler, week six, home against Perry on October 3rd, October 10th, home against Langsburg, October 17th at Saranac, and finishing out the regular season, October 24th, home against Durand. So pretty good schedule. Obviously, we know how tough the conference is. It's dominated by PW and Fowler, and I know Langsburg's been up there. You've been up there, but what's the year going to be like?
I mean, it's just going to be a challenge. I think truly week one is going to be a measurement for me. Like, where are we? Where do we need to get to? I'm really hoping to kind of work out a lot of the kinks going into our preseason scrimmage, see what we have. Um, but the opportunity to make the playoffs is there. And, convincing these kids that the next step is now competing for the district. You can't just be settled with making a playoff. You got to want to win too. So that's kind of our goal. That's what we've set as coaches, and that's what we've portrayed to the players is, hey, we want to win a district. We want to win those two games in the playoffs. We want to go somewhere else. We want to try to do something bigger in Bath. And that really has resonated, and that's why we've been getting numbers. They're getting their friends out, they're having a good time, and we're having fun on the football field at this point. So, schedule wise, I know that, there's a lot of unknowns right now. There's a lot of teams that lost a lot of guys. Um, there's a lot of teams that didn't lose a lot of guys. So, Durand, we know is such a hard game to go into in week 9 if there's anything on the line because they're going to be running the ball in that wing tee, trying to pound you down up and down the field. That's just the way they play football. And we know what we see in PW, you know what we see in Fowler. I think Langsberg's going to be much more tough this year. That quarterback that he can run, he's going to be a tough player. He's actually the cousin of my last year's running back. So he's a Rowley, and the kid's tough. They'll be a lot better, and I just don't know what I'm going to get out of the rest of the conference. Perry's got it. There's no doubt that they can be better. Um, Perry has the ability to. I think they bring back a dang good majority of their players. Um, so I think that that'll be an interesting game for us too. But truly, it's about getting out of the gates, getting into, like I would love to be 2-0 coming out of the first two games, going into PW, with a little bit of momentum and then trying to compete with those guys. They're going to be a bear. There's no doubt about it. They're going to be tough, but we have to kind of start putting our foot down and doing different things here to try to win those games.
Absolutely. All right. And finally, I'll ask this question. What are, this week is kind of the last week of 7-on-7s. Next week, I don't know how you treat that week as a coach.
Yeah.
So you can do football related, you can't do any football related activities.
Right.
You can do conditioning, or
Yep.
I've seen coaches just take the week off and get one last thing they need to do before
Yep.
things really get going. So
Yeah.
what's what are the next few weeks going to be like before it all starts on the 11th?
This next week, it really is not meant to be a true dead period. It's you can't touch a football, you can't practice, you can't do the beyond 15 player activity things. So I know what I typically use this week for is to now give them a break to an extent. So what I mean by that is AM lifts. I usually do them at 6:30 in the morning. We wipe out the AM lifts so the kids can sleep in this coming week, kind of enjoy that. Um, we also will do a little bit of our actual testing so kids can share that with coaches. So, like, we'll do 40s, verticals, broad jump, cone drill, just to get times for even for the young kids to see where you were as a freshman to where you get as a senior. So that's usually what we use this week for is basically like, okay, here's your measurements. If you want to do a max bench or a max squat or whatever we want to do, we want to get that out of the way, so you guys can have that for coaches for recruiting purposes.
All right. And then finally, what is this last after this week, what do you feel like you guys need to do to really get where you need to go in these next few weeks to get ready for that first game?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing is actually finding the kids that are going to step in positions that they don't want to. There's always a kid that you're like, hey, I know you don't like left guard or left tackle, but guess what? You make us this much better. And you have to be willing to sacrifice for the team. And that's where this year's group, we're going to have two or three guys sacrifice for the team, for the betterment of the team. And if they do that and willingly do that, I see zero issues. If they don't do it and you're getting pushed back, hey, this is your choice. You're making a choice here. Do you want to be the best team we possibly can be based on what we're saying? Or do you want to be forced into that position and dislike the season? Like, this is where it just becomes a whole different ball game. The next 2 weeks is stepping into positions that you might not be comfortable with, and then really trying to capitalize on being on the field at Bath. When you only have 20, 30 guys for a varsity team. And I am hoping to have a JV this year. I will say that we should be right around that 18 number. Um, so not if we have 22 and 18, you only have 22 guys for varsity. You got to step out there and play somewhere. So yeah, I again, it's about sacrifice for my football team. It's gonna be about sacrifice. I've been wavering on offenses all year based upon whoever wins the quarterback job. So that's really what I got to figure out in the next 2 weeks is where do I go? How are we going to do it? How are we going to portray it to the team? And then have that unified stance throughout the coaching staff.
All right. Well, Shane, thank you so much for the time as always, and we will talk to you soon.
Absolutely.